Hello, I'm John Weiler with the Sovereign Passage Assembly. This is our daily brief for January 31st, 2019. And we are studying Parashah Beshalach, which means when he let go. And today we're going to pick up in chapter 16 of Shemoth, or Exodus. And we are now following the assembly of Yashar'el, or the upright of El, as they are beginning to move in Bamidbar, or the wilderness. So yesterday we talked about the song of Moshe and the song of the Lamb, and how that is what our words or our joy is. Okay, to sing the song is to go forth singing praises for us today specifically, that YAHUAH has brought us back through the Mashiach, and that we can now be in relationship and be holy or set apart as he is holy, so we can be like him through the name of YAHUAH. So it's very important to us to grasp, as far as when we are choosing to hearken to the way of Yah, is that it's truly a relationship. And when we start to enter into this specific relationship with our Creator, and we're striving to become Yachad, or one, beloved ones, with Him through the Ruach HaKodesh, striving to cleave, we should be looking at our concepts of relationship. What is relationship to us? Because that there, specifically, that thought process will then pull up, well, what is love then to us? Because we can say, yeah, love is following the way of Yah. But is that our concept of love? You know, I mean, we have other people in our lives that we profess to love. So we leave the house, say, love you. We hang up the phone, before we hang up, say, love you. But what are we really saying there? What are we really focusing on when we have these words of love in the relationships that we have with other people? Our relationships with our significant other should mimic the relationship that we have with YAHUAH, because it's the same type of relationship. So when we talk about love there and relationship, and we start to focus on that with our Creator and our Savior, it can begin to challenge us in the rest of our relationships, because we start to see ourselves as very selfish and self-centered. Selfishness. Because the way of YAHUAH is selfless. It's not about ourselves. It's not about the things here. It's about giving. And that is challenging. It's extremely challenging in the life that we lead now, that's in the darkness with the death of the firstborn. And for us to see the light of Yahushua HaMashiach, and then to come to that light and to take the gift of repentance, come back into relationship. It's like we are forcing ourselves out of the world and striving for the way. What we want. The authority that had been thrown down all those years ago, until the authority of the serpent in the world, pulling ourselves because out of this desire to be with YAHUAH. So the challenge with that is that everything around us is selfish then, because that's the serpent. It's what we want, you know, as human individuals. And that we still have those tendencies. We still see our love as what we want. And especially when it comes to what we're willing to give. Okay, what we're willing to give to others. I'm only going to go so far. And what we're willing to give to YAHUAH. And we should be giving our best to all, regardless of the response. Regardless of whether or not it is accepted, or whether or not it's accepted with thankfulness, okay, as far as our best to others. Because we will find here that when we go forth, we will learn that we become a watchman. All right, we become a watchman for those who are dead already. And we're called to go forth and sing the song, or to speak the words of YAHUAH and the gift of Mashiach. But we will find that those words are bitter. Okay, for what we discussed yesterday with waters of Marah or waters of bitter to people. They're not words of healing to those who do not desire the relationship or even have the concept of relationship with YAHUAH. They're bitter, and they cause harm, they cause pain. But we're still called to go forth speaking the words of healing, because we're called to the lost sheep of the house of Yashar'el. All right, and in this case specifically, it's the entire world. But right now, the entire world is unbelievers, just like we were unbelievers up until we heard the words of healing, which is sanctification, which is life, and then we turned to it. Okay, so we turned to, and began to sing the song of Moshe, sing the song of the Lamb. So relationship, selfishness, okay, versus selflessness. To give our best to YAHUAH and to give our best to others, the others especially, regardless of the response. Because most of the time when you help people, they don't see it like that. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're helping them with. Eventually it'll turn into an expectation, okay? But we're called to do these things. We're called to be servants of others. So it's a challenge. It's very, very challenging. So now, speaking though of the relationship that we're seeking with the YAHUAH, we're going to continue on here in our study of Beshalach, and the children of Yashar'el, as they are at this moment, coming out of the world around them, which is Mitzrayim, out of that nation, behaving as Mitzrayim, having the concepts of man, okay, the desire of man, which is the words and the way of the serpent. So, just like us, we are the same way. And much of what is being said and responded to Moshe, which is YAHUAH through Moshe to the people, is the same types of responses that we gave, and we should pay attention here, because all this right now, what we're going to be studying from here on out, is relationship building, and that is our whole goal. So let's go to chapter 16, and we're going to read 1 through 36, and then we'll talk about it. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the assembly of the children of Yashar'el came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after the departing out of the land of Mitzrayim. And the whole assembly of the children of Yashar'el murmured against Moshe and Aharon in the wilderness. And the children of Yashar'el said unto them, Would to ELOHIYM we had died by the hand of YAHUAH in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill the whole assembly with hunger. Then said YAHUAH unto Moshe, Behold, I will rain bread from the heavens for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they will walk in my Torah or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moshe and Aharon said unto all the children of Yashar'el, At evening, then ye shall know that YAHUAH has brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. And in the morning then ye shall see the glory of YAHUAH, for that he hears your murmurings against YAHUAH. And what are we, that ye murmur against us? And Moshe said, This shall be when YAHUAH shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to be full, or bread to the full. For that YAHUAH hears your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against YAHUAH. And Moshe spoke unto Aharon, say unto all the assembly of the children of Yashar'el, come near before YAHUAH, for he has heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aharon spoke unto the whole assembly of the children of Yashar'el, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of YAHUAH appeared in the cloud. And YAHUAH spoke unto Moshe, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Yashar'el. Speak unto them, saying, At evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am YAHUAH ELOHIYM. And it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay up was gone, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Yashar'el saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they knew not what it was. And Moshe said unto them, This is the bread which YAHUAH has given you to eat. This is the thing which YAHUAH has commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Yashar'el did so, and gathered, some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moshe said, Let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moshe, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moshe was wroth with them, and they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the assembly came and told Moshe. And he said unto them, This is that which YAHUAH has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto YAHUAH. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remains over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moshe bade. And it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moshe said, Eat it today, for today is the Shabbat unto YAHUAH. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Shabbat, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. And YAHUAH said unto Moshe, How long refuse ye to guard my commandments and my Torah? See, for that YAHUAH has given you the Shabbat, therefore he gives you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye in every man his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Yashar'el called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moshe said, This is the thing which YAHUAH commands. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe said unto Aharon, Take a pot, and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before YAHUAH, to be kept for your generations. As YAHUAH has commanded Moshe, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Yashar'el did eat manna 40 years, till they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is a 10th part of a ephah, which I don't know how much that is. Okay, so we get quite a bit here with this account. So in the beginning here of 16, they are moving from the palm trees, Elam, with the 12 wells of water. Okay, 12 wells of water and 40 palm trees. And they're moving in the wilderness of sin, which is there's no derivative for that word. I can't find a derivative for that. It's not chatet, okay, like we know that's sin. It's just a name of a place. and it seems to be Egyptian in origin. And that area is between Elim and Sinai, and it says on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Mitzrayim. Now the children of Yashar'el, they're taken out of what they knew, what they were comfortable with, and they begin to, in this new environment, to reject it. And we can understand that. Many people fear change. And when the change comes in, it'll throw the entire schedule off. You know, I mean, today especially, we're so automated as human beings. You know, like our phones and computers and stuff. You know, we are constantly bred for work and have our reminders and all these things in place. I can lay my whole schedule out for the entire week, and we're going to do this, and that. And then when something changes that, it really throws off, you know, everything, our ruach, okay? So this is kind of the reaction here with Yashar'el being pulled out of what they knew and what they were comfortable with, even though it was hardship on them. So we're looking here as they didn't really consider it hardship, all right, because they look back fondly onto the things that they once had. So it said, the children of Yashar'el in verse 3, would ELOHIYM had us die by the hand of YAHUAH in the land of Mitzrayim, when we sat by the flesh pots, which are like cooking vessels. We were boiling food and did eat bread till we were full. For you have brought us into the wilderness to kill the whole assembly with hunger. Okay, so I mean it's indicative of a human response. You know, it's me, and very dramatic. I'll thank you for bringing me out here to kill me, with starvation. Thanks a lot. But that's how we react, you know, and it's to come out of the world too to interact with the unbeliever who is selfish. We still get these types of responses here, you know, people feeling that they're not getting what they deserve, you know, or you're not doing what they expect you to do or they want you to do, and get these very dramatic responses. But then Yahweh says to Moshe, says, okay, I'll rain bread from heavens for you, and you're going to go out and gather it. I'll provide the food for Yashar'el, but here's how you're going to do it. You're going to go and gather a certain rate every day, and on the sixth day they shall prepare that which is brought in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Okay, so now we're starting to get our first command, or our first relationship information, okay, or instruction. And that's around the Shabbat, the set-apart day, the seventh day. Okay, so you got 6 days where we go out and work, and on the seventh day we rest from all of our works. Yeah, Mashiach tells us that the Shabbat was made for man, okay, not man, for the Shabbat. So what we have here, too, is that the food is not, and the preparation of food is to not be done on Sabbath, because that's part of our daily work. You know, we, as far as Sabbath goes for us in our household, we don't. We cook or prepare all of our meals ahead of time. Friday is our preparation day for the Sabbath. And, you know, we will cook, but only, you know, like we'll turn the oven on to bake something, to heat it up. But other than that, we're not doing dishes. We don't do any one of our daily household chores, because that's our day of rest completely. And what is being told here is that this is what you are to do. You should prepare for the Sabbath, because the Sabbath is the first appointment. And the Sabbath is the day of rest for us physically now, and it'll be the day of rest when Mashiach returns in the seventh day of creation, which is the 7,000th year. So everything that is being done here is revolving around the fact that this time is going to culminate and the relationship will either be consummated, it'll come together, or the lack of relationship will then be no longer there. So those who are not in a relationship will no longer be there. So what happens here, though, is that the people don't do it. They end up not doing that. What we do get too is that the murmurings, okay, the speaking against the things, not being grateful for what is given, okay, or being taken care of, being said against Moshe and Aharon. They say, "Why are you murmuring to us or against us?" It's not us; it's YAHUAH that you are murmuring against. Now that's something very important here, because we can get frustrated ourselves. I get frustrated, and I will speak with uncircumcised lips about things, and most of the time it's to myself, which is good, and it's also not good, because it shows me the portion of my ruach that is still tied with my selfish thoughts. And most of it comes with interactions with people. And what I see now with the seeking the relationship with the YAHUAH, the selfishness that's also around me. Because the relationship that I seek with Yah, I'm doing everything that I'm aware of at the moment to seek Him first, and to incorporate the way of Yah, which is to be holy or set apart, into my ruach, so my thoughts, my words, and then my actions. But by doing so also, it shows me in my other relationships how selfish other people are. And that's a challenge there, because we are also selfish just as the other people are. So we have to be very careful there when we're looking at other people, and realize that is very well and is the way that our relationship partner, our Creator and Savior, looks at us. So for us to look at the others in our relationship, especially with any type of contempt, then we are very well being looked at and thought of in the same fashion. Okay, so the standard that we're judging others, we will receive that same standard. So very challenging here. Okay, so our murmurings, though, that we have with our times of frustration, things break, we don't have, or something occurs with other people, murmurings of other people, and we react, then we are certainly not behaving with how we're called to. We're not behaving as our relationship partner behaves to us. And then as we're not murmuring against other people, we're murmuring against the way of YAHUAH. Okay? Very important to understand that and to internalize that. Okay? And speak to myself. Okay. And then, so they have, they're craving the foods, okay, the foods of what they were coming out of. We still have the same cravings, okay? That's why it's really important to pull the leaven, or the chatet, the sin, the desires away from the corrupting agents, the desires for the things of this world, which is what they're talking about here, about sitting by the flesh pots and eating their bread till they're full. We have the same desires when we sit down in front of a movie that's just full of sex and violence as entertainment. Everything that's contrary to the way of Yah, we take in as entertainment. And then we're still sitting there with those corrupting agents, and that's still fueling that. Or we're playing a video game, or we're reading something, But we still have these things that we wish that we could do. Okay, we wish we could still go out and do those things, or I can't wait for Sabbath to be over, or one of the appointments to be over, so I can go back and do what I have always done. So these are things for us to internalize here, because we have the example of what is happening. We can look at what's happening with Yashar'el coming out of Mitzrayim, because same process, same path that we go through. And all these things that I just mentioned are the things that I have done. you know, and praise Yah, because Yahuwah is who heals us, right? So Yahuwah Rofeka on chapter 15, verse 26, it says, I'll put none of these diseases upon you, which I brought upon the Mitzrayim, for I am Yahuwah who heals you. Okay? So for us to remain immersed in the words, those things will be taken, we will be given the strength and the comfort to pull those out of our lives, because our heart's desire is on the way of Yah. But these things will happen. And we have to just kind of put in our minds that when we start to murmur against all these things and start to speak poorly against all these things, we're really speaking poorly against the way of Yahuwah, because we're not speaking his words. Okay, we're speaking the words of the serpent. Okay, so Yahuwah spoke to Moshe. In verse 11 says, I've heard the murmurings of the children of Yashar'el. Speak unto them, at evening ye shall have flesh, but in the morning you're going to be filled with bread. And then you will know that I'm Yahweh ELOHIYM. So Yah takes care of them. Right? So they have these things that are being given to them that they can physically have. So in the morning, there's manna on the ground. Manna means what? Like what? Like what is this? That's what the word manna is, because they don't have a word for it. They don't know what it is. But it gives us the description of it. It was like coriander seed, white, and tastes like it was wafers made with honey. But very sweet. Okay, and we think about that with the scrolls that the prophets eat. Okay, which was tasting sweet like honey, but bitter in their stomach too. So manna, and we have the bread of Yah, the food of Yah that's given to Yashar'el. Okay, this is the bread which Yahweh has given you to eat in verse 15. So then we have a command from Yahuwah, a relationship condition. It says, gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, so a certain portion, enough for you. So when we look here with what we are given, when we start to idolatrize our things, idolatrize our wealth and things like that, we are gathering more, okay, more than what you need. Or more, we desire more than what Yahuwah has provided for you. Okay, so we're to gather of it every man according to his eating, and take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And that's what the children of Yashar'el did. And then when they ate it, and they measured it against an omer, all right, so this volume amount, and he that gathered much had nothing left over, and he that gathered little had no lack. So each according to their eating. And then Moshe says, don't leave it over till the morning, so eat it all. And people didn't do that. Okay, so they did not hearken unto Moshe, and left it to morning, and it bred worms, and it stank. Okay, it stank. Moshe was angry with them. And on the sixth day, they were to gather twice as much. And Moshe said that this is that which Yahweh has said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Shabbat or Sabbath unto Yahweh. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that which ye will seethe, and that which remains lay over for you to be kept until the morning. And they did that. It says, verse 25, Moshe says, eat for today is the Shabbat, Sabbath unto Yahweh, the rest unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Shabbat, there shall be none. Okay, so we look at the word. That's the manna. There's a double portion given on the sixth day. All right, we are actually in the sixth day of creation, and the Ruach HaKodesh is being spilled. The Ruach ELOHIYM is being poured out on humanity. So it's double portion. So what we have here with this understanding, okay, the understanding of the way of Yahuwah and how we can speak these words of healing today, all right, because of the double portion that is given on the sixth day before the seventh day rest. So the people don't do that, okay, here in Yashar'el, some people on the seventh day, they went out to gather, okay, to go out and work and to not guard the appointment that will be kept when Yahushua returns. And Yahweh says to Moshe, how long refuse ye to guard my commandments and my Torah? Okay, how long do you refuse to guard His commands, which is our relationship agreement. Okay, it's our covenant, our berit, and His Torah, His instructions. Okay, how long do we refuse to do that? That's what we should really be thinking of with ourselves here. How long are we refusing to fully come into this relationship, fully come into it? The end of this here is we take the command is for Moshe to Aharon and to put up some of the manna as a testimony, or in the testimony to be kept. Okay, to show the word, the healing of the word, the sustenance of the word of YAHUAH, and the promises. Okay, the promises to come, the appointments that YAHUAH will keep. Okay, so how long, though, will you refuse to guard my commandments in my Torah? Okay, how long will we refuse to do that? Let's go to Luke chapter 9, to Yahusha, who is the Ruach Elohim. He is YAHUAH, the fullness of YAHUAH on the earth. Let's go to chapter 9. Verse 37 to 42 is what we're going to read, but we're going to discuss what happens now, because Yashar'el doesn't do that. Okay, doesn't hearken to the way of Yah, keep His commands and His instructions. It does not seek with a true heart. You know, their heart desires the desire of the Ruach. And the result, okay, it's darkness and death. That's what ends up happening. And that's where we are right now. Okay, we're in the result of that. But now we're getting that double portion of manna, okay, the outpouring of the Ruach HaKodesh, and we can hear the calling that has been called to us from the foundation of the world through Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, so let's go to Luke chapter 9, verse 37 to 42, and let's listen to the words of our Mashiach. And it came to pass that on the next day, when there come down from the hill, much people met him, Mashiach. And behold, a man of the company cried out, saying, Rabbi, I beseech you, look upon my son, for he is my only child. And lo, a ruach takes him, and he suddenly cries out, and it tears him that he foams again, and bruising him hardly departs from him. And I besought your Talmudim to cast him out, and they could not. And Yahushua answering said, O unbelieving and perverse nation, how long shall I be with you and suffer you? Bring your son hither. And as he was yet coming, the devil threw him down and tore him. And Yahushua rebuked the unclean ruach and healed the child and delivered him again to his father. So, what was causing that? Here, what was causing that? It was an unclean ruach, an unclean spirit, which is a broken spirit. Unclean is tameh, which is summed up as incomplete, okay, or broken. Okay, when we are not, when we are first coming out, or even period in the darkness, we're tameh, we're broken. Okay, our ruach is broken. We have the words of Yah and the words of the serpent. So there's two different directions here, and then one, we are following the words of the serpent, and when we come out, we're still double-minded, because we're still trying to hearken to the words of Yah while still heeding the words of the serpent, until we turn singly on the way of Yah, and then we become tahor, or complete, okay, healed. But here, Yahushua goes and expels a broken ruach, which we get as a demon also, out of this boy. And it seems that he's foaming at the mouth and bruising, throwing himself down or being thrown down. So we can look at it today as, he says having a seizure. Okay, there's something wrong with the body that's causing a seizure, without considering that we are spirits with a body, okay? And whom we give the authority to will come and dwell with us. Okay, so we're given the authority to Hasatan, the unclean or the broken ruach will come to us. And there's the sickness, okay, the sickness physically that occurs because of the disposition or the direction of our ruach. We focus on YAHUAH, then we have completeness or healing, okay, because that's the disposition or direction of our ruach. So what we have here is Yahushua saying, "O unbelieving and perverse nation, how long shall I be with you and suffer you?" Well, why is he saying that? Well, what is causing the unclean to dwell with the body, the man, the person, human? What is causing that? It's the desire of or desire for. We are called to have the desire of YAHUAH, to be single on the way of Yah. And then we will create a sanctified, through that process, our vessel will be sanctified, which is done through the truth. Yah's word is the truth. Be sanctified, so give us a purified dwelling place for the Ruach HaKodesh. And because our desire is single on the way of Yah, then we speak His words, which are the words of healing. But if we don't have that, and our desire is on the way of the serpent, then we create a dwelling place for the unclean Ruach. And then we have these desires that just pull us and just want to take us and cast us down and make us so sick, foaming at the mouth, and bruise us and cause our death. Because that's what these broken spirits, that's what they desire, is our death and destruction. But yet we're still communing with them. We want to be with them. We worship the serpent. Okay, even with the name of Jesus and the name of God. Okay, we're still worshiping the serpent. And talking about the Sabbath, Sabbath is the day of healing for us, and that's where we rest and we come together with our Creator and our Savior, and that's where the healing occurs. But if we take our day and we forsake that Sabbath, is because what's happening right here is unbelieving and perverse nation, because they have forsaken or refused to guard the commands and Torah of YAHUAH. This is the result. Because by doing so, you are embracing the words of the serpent, which is death. We're embracing a Ruach that wants to kill us, wants us to be dead. The devil is an accuser. Devil means accuser. And they stand, that devil who is cast out of Shamayim, or the expanse above, the area outside of this world, was cast out of there through the blood of the Lamb, but he stood before the throne of YAHUAH, accusing man day and night, accusing us of being contrary, desiring him. Okay, tempter and accuser. So here, when we're meeting with the tempter or the accuser, the enemy, the adversary, the dragon, on his day, which is the day of the sun, specifically in contrast to the Sabbath, which is our day of rest given to us by YAHUAH, we are creating a dwelling place for the unclean Ruach. Okay? Now, if we believe the word here, then and we see what Yahushua has done here with casting and healing, okay, by the word made flesh is what heals that and will remove that, then we know that where the healing comes from. Okay, it comes from the word, because he tells us that. We just read that in chapter 15 in Shemoth. And we see what Yahushua did, healing especially on Sabbath. Okay? So, and also to think that we don't have these things is that's a gross miscalculation. Okay, on our part, that we do not have the unclean Ruach. Okay, just because we're not being thrown down or possessed, or like what we see in our fictional movies, which will then also mimic real life. But what's happening here, there was what we can look at as a medical condition, but it was really a unclean Ruach that was disrupting the vessel for our Ruach, or the boy's Ruach here, his spirit. So to think that we don't have the unclean that is attaching themselves to us and driving us to want the things that cause us harm or death, then we haven't really grasped the world around us, okay, where we're living in. But we also know that where our healing comes from. So where we should be turning for healing. Now, the diseases of Mitzrayim that YAHUAH speaks about in the end of chapter 17. He says, And verse 26 says, and said, if you would diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh ELOHIYM, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and guard all of his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon you, which I brought upon the Mitzrayim, for I am Yahweh who heals you. Okay, that's Exodus, Shemoth chapter 15, verse 26. But to think that us coming out of the world, we're going to be miraculously healed physically, like if we have cancer or some kind of condition, we are a vessel here in a dying world, in a world of death. And we have just been given such a wonderful gift through Yahushua that we can come in our Ruach. Okay, we can look and see, and we can change our spiritual desire. And that is how we approach, and that's how we live, is through the Ruach, which is driving the body. But to say that our bodies is no longer going to be diseased and dying, that's not true either, because we are not meant to live. All right? The world here was made for us. We were not made for the world. So we are going to die, and we don't know when that is. We can really, truly just be as healthy and in the best shape possible and just die, too. You know, there's a number of ways that we can die. So to think that we're going to come out and physically, miraculously be healed, that's not the case there either, because where the true healing takes place is in the Ruach. Okay, it's our spirit. So and then when our time here is done, which is what we're truly looking forward to, then we have our rest. That's the Sabbath, the seventh day, with Yahushua HaMashiach when he returns. And there's still, Yahweh, everything that happens is for the good and the will of Yahweh. So we could be healed with the message to go forth. We don't know what our Yah's plan for us here is. We just go, Why are we standing there? Go forth. That's what Yah says to Moshe. He says, wherefore you cry unto me, speak unto the children of Yashar'el that they go forward, going through the parted sea of reeds or Red Sea. That's what we're doing. So they're crying at him. We know what to do, and we know what he's given us. We just go forward. What do you want me to do today? Please show me. Please guide me. And I'm very happy. Thank you for the opportunity to do your way, to do your will. Okay, so what has caused this out of the world, though, is the thing, because the question is, how long refuse you to guard my commands and my Torah? Well, all the way up until right now. How long did we in our lives refuse to guard the commands and the Torah? Who didn't know there was a Torah? Raise my hand. So, here we are. But again, through the grace and the will of Yahuwah, we are receiving the double portion of manna, the word of Yah, the Ruach HaKodesh. So let's go to Hosea or Hosea, and we're going to go in chapter 4, and we're going to end out here with speaking about what happens when we choose not to guard the commands and the Torah, the instructions of Yah. So in Hosea or Hosea chapter 4, we're going to read 1 through 19. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Yashar'el, for Yahweh has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of ELOHIYM in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and breaking wedlock, they break out, and blood touches blood. Therefore shall all the land mourn, and everyone that dwells therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for your people are as they that strive with the priest. Therefore shall you fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with you in the night, and I will destroy your mother. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected the knowledge, I will also reject you, that you shall have no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten the Torah of your ELOHIYM. I will also forget your children. As they were increased, for they sinned against me, therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways, and reward them for their doings. For they shall eat, and not have enough, and they shall commit whoredom, and they shall not increase, because they have left off to take left off to take heed to YAHUAH. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. My people ask counsel at their trees, and their staff declares unto them, for the ruach of whoredom has caused them to err. And they have gone a-whoring from under their ELOHIYM. They sacrifice upon the tops of mountains. They burn incense upon the hills. They soak, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall break wedlock. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they break wedlock. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that do not understand shall fall. Though you, Yashar'el, play the harlot, yet let not Yehudah offend, and come not ye unto Gilgal, neither go ye up to Beth of Aven, nor swear, YAHUAH lives. For Yashar'el slides back as a backsliding heifer. Now YAHUAH will feed them as a lamb in the large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Give her rulers to love with shame. The wind has bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. Okay, so here, this is Hosea, who is speaking to Yashar'el, the children of Yashar'el, okay, and specifically the nation here that will receive the same judgments that Mitzrayim, and then the world as a whole will receive the same judgments as Mitzrayim. Okay, that is in process now. But he begins in this chapter with, hear the word of YAHUAH, you children of Yashar'el, for YAHUAH is a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of ELOHIYM in the land. So we are not in the land. Okay, we're in the world. We're in the nations. We're actually in Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, so a great nation, multitude of nations. Ephraim. Ephraim carries the name of Yashar'el. Okay, that was part of the blessing that was given from Yaakov to the sons of Yosef. Carries their name, so Yashar'el. So Ephraim is looked at or equated to as a bull, okay, or a cow, and here it's a heifer. It's a backsliding heifer. So as for Yashar'el slides back as a backsliding heifer. Now YAHUAH will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Okay, so Ephraim, the bull or the heifer, the cow, is a backsliding heifer, and they're joined to idols. Okay, I mean we talked a little bit about where Ephraim went, Manasseh and all the other tribes at the end of Bereshith, possibly. And we're very well in the United States. I live in the United States. Manasseh very well could be Manasseh, but there's so many other potentials from the tribes, all the tribes, or those pulled out that are here. We spoke a little bit about Ephraim being, the Great Britain, to where they'd be a multitude of nations or many nations from them. But we look at our leadership today, okay, they're attached to idols. Everything's attached to idols and worshiping the serpent. And it's being multiplied now in this time, because we have a double portion of manna that's coming. So we have the Ruach ELOHIYM that's being poured out on humanity, but also the dragon who has been cast to the earth, who knows he has but a short time, and is now waging war on the children of Yashar'el. So we see just what we can see now, seeking the relationship, these terrible things that are occurring in our nations today. That's why the authority is given to the serpent, and we get that from Yahushua being tempted in the wilderness, and the serpent saying that, if you come, takes him up to a high mountain where see all the kingdoms, and he says that I have the authority here, and I can give this to anybody if you bow down and worship me. give you the authority. I can put you and give you all of this if you bow down and worship me. Okay, so the authority has been thrown, the rod has been thrown down, and we're now in the time of the serpent. Up until Mashiach comes, which is the next step, which is the Sabbath rest. Picks up that serpent by the tail, and it becomes a rod, and it's a rod of iron. But we see here that what's caused all this is there's no truth or mercy or knowledge of Elohim in the land. It's the same thing today. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and breaking wedlock, they break out and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwells therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, with the fowls of the heaven. Yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. Let no man strive nor reprove another, for your people are as that strive with the priest. Therefore shall you fall in the day, and the prophet shall fall with you in the night, and I will destroy your mother, which is Jerusalem. And that's what happened. Okay, it was taken. And then verse 6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I will reject you, that you shall have no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I will also forget your children. So we left the Torah with how long will it be? Let me read it again. Keep my place here. How long refuse you to guard my commandments and my Torah? And that's the beginning, okay, with the Sabbath given, the rest, this incredible gift of the Sabbath, which is just awesome. But we don't see it that way because we think we need to go out and work. We're being lazy. Got to go and amass more, get more, get more. And instead of just resting, taking that rest that Yah gives to us as a gift, showing us the gift of the Mashiach when he returns, the Sabbath rest that we will have when we are raised with him. Hopefully, we are raised with him. And we just want more. We're not happy with that, so we want to amass more things. So we do not guard that command. And by doing so, we have forgotten the Torah of our Elohim. I didn't even know of a Torah, okay, what the Torah was. Maybe I'll put it like that. Did not know what the instructions of Elohim were until turning to his word directly. I read the first 5 books of our modern Bible before I had a concept that it was the instructions for the upright of El, okay, the set apart of YAHUAH. So here we are, though. This is the world that we are currently in right now. So when we look back into the whole reason that we're even talking about this now, that we desire to even get in his word for any purpose in our life, the effects for healing and also the effects for disregarding. Okay? Because truly it's a relationship that we should be seeking here. And it's in that relationship that we have with the Most High, the eternal, the one that is, was, and will be. So desiring that relationship to be one with the eternal, or the one that is, was, is, and will be, that the things that cause the harm, okay, the breaking of that relationship, then no longer are important to us. Okay, so the benefit or the blessings of the relationship no longer have any type of appeal to it, because that's the way of the world. That's the way that we're trying to come out of that appeal right there, because those are all stumbling blocks to us. They're all things that take our eye away. So we can see is how long will you refuse to guard my commands and my Torah? How long are we refusing to do that today? You know, and it's not as simple as the thing as, yeah, well, I'm keeping it because I'm keeping all these commands that are there. You know, I'm keeping the Sabbath, all the appointments. I'm not eating the foods that we're not supposed to eat, and I'm circumcised, things like that. But it truly comes down to the relationship. Okay, because that's love, right? The The Torah, the culmination, the fulfillment of the Torah is love. The completeness of the Torah is love. And that is Mashiach. He has not come to destroy the Torah and the prophets, but to fulfill. And the fulfillment of the Torah is love. And we're called to fulfill the Torah. Okay, we're called to walk as the Mashiach walked. So by doing that, we are not, we are seeking the relationship. Okay, that's our desire, is the relationship. So how long will we refuse to do that? I mean, that's up to us in our realization, of what is really going on here with the instructions of Yahweh for the upright. It's truly relationship. And when we grasp that concept, then things get much easier. It's no longer we're going to do something that's completely contrary to what we've ever known and what all the other people around us know. It's backwards, for how we've grown up, and it's foolishness in our modern society of knowledge of the serpent, knowledge of human beings on the earth. It's foolishness. None of that means anything to us. Those words mean nothing to us. Those thoughts mean nothing to us because we see the relationship. We now have a love of the truth. We have a love of YAHUAH. We have a love of ELOHIYM. So we desire this relationship. That's what we're seeking. And that makes life much, much easier. And then we can truly see where we're going wrong with our relationship with YAHUAH, with our relationship and our reactions with others. So it's good in both ways. So, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But we have everything that we need to be successful. He gives us everything that we need, to include the double portion of manna today. Praise YAHUAH. All right, hope you have a wonderful day today, and I hope these words have blessed you as they have blessed me, and I hope that you reflect on them as I'm going to reflect on them, and we just focus on what we can do better in our relationship, how we can truly give our best to our loving Creator and Savior. All right, have a great day, and we'll be back here tomorrow to finish up with Parashah Beshalach. Thank you.